Well, I don't think there's one answer to that question, other than to say you might take cues from that individual. Some people are in denial. Some people retreat. Others desperately want to connect. And I believe personally that the ability to connect is life giving. And that somebody who is already feeling isolated uh, wants people to reach out. I mean, just the call. And if it's a bad time, she'll say, you know what? I can't really talk now, but thank you so much for the call. Call me later, or I'll call you. Or if somebody rings the doorbell and the nurse answers the door and says, she's on the commode, it's not a good time, come back later. When she comes back, the dying person is apt to really embrace that opportunity. I will tell you, and I wrote about this in one of the chapters regarding hospice care and the volunteers who were angels on earth. When my mother was bedridden and hospice volunteers were coming, they brought to her the stories of their lives. One of the volunteers had a severely disabled granddaughter, had some form of muscular dystrophy, and couldn't speak, couldn't walk well, but was thriving as a high school student. So this aide would tell, or volunteer would tell my mother the story of her granddaughter and talk about this and talk about that. And in those moments, my mother was listening and she was sharing and she was caring. She was interacting. She was being very human. I guess that's my point. She was allowed to use her emotions. She wasn't able to get up and walk around the house necessarily, but she could listen to the story and she could say, "Oh, Doris, I understand that." And what a great child, or aren't you good to be doing that? It was sharing, and in those moments, she was alive. She was in her bed, but she was alive emotionally. So I think, as difficult as it may be for us to know what to say, what do I say, how do I act, just go, just be present, and see how it goes, and take cues. And sometimes you don't have to say anything. You can just say, Linda, I'm here. I just want you to know that I'm thinking of you, and touch her. Put your hand on her hand, and see where it goes. And even say, you know what, Linda, I don't know, what's the right thing to do. I just want you to know that I'm here if you need me. I don't want to be in the way. And then see what she says. Because we don't know. We don't know. And what worked for Tom isn't going to work for Harry. What was right for my mother may not be right for your mom. It's different. But just, I think the message is that emotional connection is life-giving. And the ability to emote, to feel emotions, to empathize is very, very life-giving. And it was really important for my